Hi Virgo and Virgo rising, this is your February forecast. So February can be quite a challenging month because we've got two eclipses. We've got a full moon lunar eclipse happening on the 11th of February in your 12th house in Leo. And later in the month we've got a new moon solar eclipse happening in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. So eclipses always carry the signature of change. So there's sometimes events or circumstances can force a shift of direction or a re-evaluation of things. There can be a kind of light bulb eureka moment where, light is shed on issues, and issues that were in the background can come into the foreground, and you may have to deal with things in areas of your life that can be a little bit uncomfortable, but powerful motivators for change. So let's see what else is happening this month. The Sun is going to be in your 6th house until the 19th of February, and in the 6th house, the Sun has got kind of a serious focus. It's very different to being in the 5th house, which is all about pleasure and fun. In the 6th house, it's all about duties and responsibilities. This is the house of work and health, so this can have you feeling more conscientious about diet and health routines. And generally speaking, you're more service-orientated, you're more tuned into the needs of other people, whether it's bosses, whether it's partners, and you're making yourself useful, you're very practically motivated. This is a good placement for new health regimes or diets for that matter, because you're very conscientious, you're researching things thoroughly, so very positive and productive for your sign, because these are things or attributes that you have naturally. So you can really apply yourself, and this could be projects for self-betterment. So very good for diets, health, and organization generally. And you're able to also provide excellent service in your work at this time because you are tuned in to the needs of other people. From the 19th of February, the Sun goes into your 7th house, and this is the house of significant one-on-one relationships. So with the Sun in the 7th, it can be quite a busy month if you consult, and so if you have one-on-one interactions with clients, there can be a lot of busyness at this time. And the focus really is on partnering up. So if you're alone, you're more inclined to seek other people out. And in general, this is a time where you don't want to be solving problems independently. You want to bounce ideas off other people, look for advice. And of course, this can be professional advice. So lawyers, accountants, astrologers, whatever you need to resolve personal problems, take them out there. Don't mull over them in private and by yourself. Sometimes a bit of conflict can come up, but with the Sun here, this can shed light on issues that come up at this time and help you resolve them. So very productive energy for that sort of thing. So Mercury is going to be in your 6th house along with the Sun for most of the month, and Mercury in the 6th is also going to aid the Sun in that mission of being diligent, being effective, being productive, being practical, being useful. So Mercury here, very detail orientated. It's all about careful planning, efficacy. This placement of Mercury does help you get along better with people that you work with, because you're more able to have conversations and articulate yourself, and so you can really problem solve and problem shoot. So, but you're also seeking, kind of mental stimulus, from co-workers and looking at problems and how you can tackle them. This one can be technically motivated as well, Mercury in the 6th, so computer problems and that sort of thing. But again, because this is also the house of health or illness, as it were, this can help you really structure or plan or strategize for diets or health improvements and really stick to them. So you're very motivated in that regard, motivated in terms of doing research, motivated in terms of getting those results that you're looking for. So Venus and Mars are going to be in Aries in your 8th house, and Venus in the 8th can sometimes bring a boost to your income through that of your partner. So your partner's income may get a boost, they may get a raise, they may get a bonus, or there's money coming in on their side, or money can come in through joint investments. With Mars and Venus together in the 8th house, particularly with Mars so strong in Aries, its own sign, this can really heighten passion and intimacy. So if a love relationship starts at this time, it's going to be more intense for its duration. And if existing partnerships will also benefit from an increased boost in passion, connection, so some sparks can fly. Mars in the 8th can sometimes be a little bit acrimonious with regards to decisions around joint finances. So on its own can be, you or a partner spending extravagantly, or kind of disagreement about how resources are managed. So, but with Venus here, that's going to mitigate that influence quite a lot. So Venus in the 8th, good for getting alone. Mars in the 8th, not so much. So you'll have to seek a balance there and see which energies are stronger. So is it more acrimonious or is it more harmonious? And, is there money coming in or money coming out? What's the flavor of the month? Okay, so let's look at what else is happening this month. We've got the new moon on the 28th of January, which is the energy for the first 2 weeks of the month, and this is going to be that new moon in your 6th house, so the moon joining the sun in the 6th, so this is very good for diets and health regimes and routines and getting them off the ground. So the new moon is really all about startup projects, so for 2 weeks until the 11th with the full moon, you'll really be gearing up to, get things done, to make action plans, and for you it's all around work and health. The 6th house emphasis in the chart with the sun and the moon here really heightens critical thinking, your ability to research things, your ability to be practical and useful in your ideas and, really advance them. So on the 9th, we've got the sun sextiling Uranus between your 6th and your 8th house. And this is very good for new activities, for, studying a new discipline. And for you in the 6th house, this could be around work skills, learning new work skills, technological skills as well. You're feeling a bit restless and energetic and, you want to shake up routine a little bit with this transit. On the 10th, we've got Mercury sextiling Venus in your 8th house. And, this is a light-hearted, sociable aspect. So Venus and Mercury together, very good for declarations of love, for friendships, so expressing your feelings. And for you, this could be with co-workers or with intimate partners. So you could also find yourself beautifying the office or your workspace, under this influence, so making things more aesthetic and pleasing. So we've got the full moon lunar eclipse happening in your 12th house. So the 12th house is that house of self and doing, loss, sorrow, but it's also the house where we can purge and release unwanted behaviors. In the 12th house, the full moon can have you feeling overwhelmed, perhaps a bit tired, and eclipses, although this is a partial eclipse, can take a little bit of time to play out. So in the 12th house, it's all about getting rid of unwanted influences. And it's a very positive full moon lunar eclipse in many respects. There's harmonious aspects between Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus, between the sun and the moon. And these things help mitigate the difficult oppositions, Jupiter opposing Uranus and the moon opposing the sun in this eclipse. So, Jupiter can show, doing things on a big scale. Also, but because it's the benefic planet, it can show support from friends, sociability, or, projects around travel, learning, and study. So, and Saturn in your 4th house is going to bring a stabilizing influence to, that, like I said, the 12th being that house of, privacy, solitude, and sometimes loss. The Saturn in the 4th house and trine and sextile to the sun and the moon is a stabilizing influence in terms of the home front, so feeling settled and secure at home. And Jupiter in your 2nd house has been giving you that boost of self-esteem. So this full moon could be a really powerful influence for purging things from your life, shedding emotional baggage, reevaluating relationships, looking at give and take. So really use that purging, cathartic influence, because they're very supportive sextiles and trines from all the right planets to help you. So on the 14th, we've got the sun sextiling Saturn from your 6th to your 4th house, and this is an influence we saw in the full moon lunar eclipse as well. And like I said, for you, Saturn in the 4th is stabilizing in terms of home, connection, roots, personal and private domains. So, look at where the solid ground is, and, look at where you've got long-term commitments from other people. So this is good for a stabilizing influence, a serious look at, where you're feeling rooted and secure, and, making plans to get more of that energy into your life. So on the 16th, we've got Mercury sextiling Mars between your 6th and your 8th house, and this could have you being very busy and industrious around the office. Mars here with Mercury makes you want to take initiative. It's also very good for standing your ground if problems arise or conflicts come up. You can stand your ground without being too pushy. So being firm in your convictions and views. So if there's an opportunity to take some initiative in the workplace, then this aspect will help you do it. So on the 20th, we've got Mercury sextiling Uranus between your 6th and your 8th house. And again, this is good for tackling problems in the office, technological problems, or, perhaps looking into new skills that you can master in terms of improving your efficacy at the office. So, good for work and technological problems. On the 21st, we've got Mercury sextiling Jupiter between your 6th and your 2nd house. And this is a very good influence for business, commerce, buying and selling, especially with Jupiter in your 2nd house. This could see you making an investment or considering an investment or opening negotiations around something like that. So Jupiter and Mercury together in harmonious aspect, can give you a good big picture thinking, the ability to plan and organize your affairs. So this aspect could have you feeling very good about yourself as well and more confident in your capabilities and competence. So on the 23rd, we've got Mercury sextiling Saturn between your 6th and your 4th house. And this aspect is good for critical thinking, for careful, conscientious work. It's not so good for big picture thinking or creative thinking, but if there's something that you need to tackle that requires diligence and, is very detail driven, then this is the aspect that will help you focus. You can work very well alone or, even with other people, but, you're more serious, you're more conscientious and more detail driven under this transit. So we've got the new Moon Solar Eclipse happening in your 7th house of relationships. So in the 7th house, this is the house of partnerships, consulting, all significant one-on-one relationships, business or romantic. And, Neptune here is the prime aspect. The sun and the moon are conjunct Neptune in your 7th house and also conjunct the fixed star Scut. So Neptune here really heightens empathy, nurture, compassion, so strong feelings, idealistic feelings. So this can help you connect with partners, significant partners, deepen one-on-one relations. With Mars conjunct Uranus during this eclipse, there can be some changes in terms of finances or unexpected obstacles, through joint resources. But in general, the main emphasis is on Neptune and the sun and the moon conjuncting it. So like I said, really heightening, compassion, empathy, so good for closeness, good for partnerships. Just make sure your feet are rooted on the ground and, you're not in a situation where you're idealizing somebody else and it's not really being reciprocated. Or in turn, you're maybe being put on a pedestal by someone else. So just watch that energy. So the month concludes with Mars opposing Jupiter, and Mars, of course, still conjunct Uranus. So this is in your financial houses. And with Mars conjunct Uranus, you want to watch sort of rash, impulsive decisions around finances, around joint resources. Because Mars and Jupiter together, there's a lot of physical energy. It can make you do things or overextend yourself or overcommit yourself. And for you, this could be financially. But this transit can sometimes also be lucky, and so for you, this could show money coming in or a stroke of good fortune, as it were. But that's still unexpected, So let's see how it pans out for you. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this forecast, please like and subscribe. I hope you have a lovely February. Bye.